joining us?
Please start.
Okay. Good evening, everyone present here. So I extend my warm welcome to all of our fellow speech crafters and mentors to this second last speech craft. And I am your sergeant at arms for the day, for the evening. Before I could start the meeting, let me explain the ground rules. Please turn off your mobile phones and put them on silent. I would like to give a few seconds for that. So as a Toastmaster, we are not supposed to talk about sex, religion, politics in a derogatory manner. And if you would like to convey anything in the middle of the meeting, please do use private chats until and unless it is out for everybody. Very well, we can use the private chat. And apart from that, please applaud everyone through the virtual emojis and applauses to congratulate the speakers. So with this, I'm opening the meeting, the 7th session of Speechcraft. And I would like to introduce our, one second. I'm searching for the agenda, by the way. Okay, so I would like to introduce our presiding officer today. Dr. Suryadeep will preside our meeting and he will start the meeting. So let me welcome the handsome young man in the house.
Okay, this is completely off the charts. This is unexpected. So just now I've been blessed with a bouncer. But okay, now that the announcement has been made, I think it's important that you got to take up the responsibility as it is given. First of all, I feel we all should give a round of applause for our very beautiful Yogeshwari. Today, I think I will just not be able to keep my eyes off her. So very, very good evening, everyone. Today is the penultimate meeting and it's a huge surprise that I'm the presiding officer. Even I didn't know it. So that's a huge thing. So nothing is coming in my mind. So I'm just going to grace this particular penultimate session with this very, very brief story. We all go through certain moments in our lives when we have the opportunity to learn, when we have the opportunity to grow. And everything finally boils down with a choice, with a decision whether we are going to do it or not. And over the last couple of sessions, we have all been very, very active. We've been taking up table topics, we've been presenting speeches, we've been taking up evaluations. It's more like a complete full-on growth that we've been experiencing. The icing on the cake has been the educational sessions, because we've taken the choice, we've made the decision that we want to grow. We want to make the most of the investment, the investment of time, energy, money, most importantly, our creative, putting our thinking caps on. Today is going to be yet another scintillating meeting for sure. And I welcome you all once again. Let's celebrate ourselves today completely and really immerse ourselves once again, because after this day, I think on Wednesday, we're all going to graduate as speech crafters. So I welcome you all once again. And now I would like to welcome once again to the virtual podium, the very beautiful, the very dynamic, someone who has recently completed her level 3 in effective coaching. So she's the one for whom our club has achieved 10 distinguished status points. So we have the full 10 on 10, and she's the Vice President Education of Speak Magic Toastmasters Club, the love of my life, Toastmaster Yogeshwari Sugamara. Let's give it up.
Thank you so much for such a warm welcome once again. And today it's my responsibility to introduce you, the officers or the role players of the meeting. I would be playing the moderator roles, and our table topic master will be our dynamic Uma ma'am. She is always beautiful and amazing when it comes to table topics. And we have our table topic evaluator and timer, our Dr. Suryadeep, who is spot on when it comes to evaluations. And table topic speakers, you're gonna get a very big takeaway today. And we have our timer, Anchal, in the main room for the speeches. So with this, I would like to ask for the breakout rooms. Are the breakout rooms ready? Yes. So table topic speakers, evaluator, table topic master, and the timer kindly join the breakout room.
So team A will be joining me in the breakout room. So okay, I'll just start assigning people.
So meanwhile, team B will be giving the speeches, which is the third and the final speech. I would like to call out the order of the speaker and the evaluator. So let's get started. The first speaker will be Kishore Babu sir. And the evaluator of Kishore Babu sir, we have Vikas sir. Hope both of them are ready. So do we have Kishore Babu sir? I couldn't find him.
No, we don't have
No.
Kishore.
Okay. So our next speaker, Mukta Gira ma'am. Yeah, she is there. And Anil sir is there. So I request Mukta Gira ma'am to get ready for the speech and Anil sir to get on with his pen and paper to evaluate her. Okay, I couldn't find even Anil sir right now.
Visible?
Oh yeah, he's there. And then our second speaker.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are loud and clear.
Where is the timer?
Where is the timer? Timer is joining, his audio is getting connected. So give us some time. Our second speaker is Shraddha ma'am, and Shraddha ma'am will be evaluated by Kishore sir. Yes, I'm able to see both of them. And the fourth speaker is Vivek sir, who will be evaluated by Mukta ma'am. So this is the order as of now. Our timer is yet to connect. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah, Kishore sir has come. Kishore sir, are you ready to speak? Yeah, you will be the first speaker. I think there is some network issue with the timer. Okay. So our first speaker is, let the timer connect. I'll play the timer roll. Our first speaker is Mukta Gira ma'am, with her title, United by Emotions. And to evaluate her speech, we have Anil Kumar sir. So Anil Kumar sir, hope you're ready. Yes, Mukta Gira ma'am. United by the Emotions. United by the Emotions, Mukta Gira. The stage is yours.
I am audible now.
Yes, yes, you are loud and clear.
United by emotions. United by emotions. What is the unit of emotion? Unit of emotion is breath. Breath is a feeling. Music is the medicine of mind. Music, 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 music. Who is excited? In words of Cicely Morgan, music is life. That is why our hearts have beats. Hang out, dear friends. I went on a trip to West Bengal in year 1972. There we went to a jungle safari in the jungle of Sundarbans, where we came across a refugee migrant village. This small migrant village, outstanded with people from so many nationalities living together. Every shape, size, color, and gender people could be found there, divided by culture and language, but united by emotions. People in that village had a great love for music. I felt people there were music worshippers. Cheers for music lovers. Three core values of that village were friendship, excellence, and respect to each other. They helped people from all over the world to find peace. We stayed there and followed just three rules. When sad, sing a song. When excited, beat a drum. When missing loved ones, jingle all the way, jingle all the way. Music is a universal language that everyone responds to. One day, the villagers there shared their experience with the tourists by crafting an amazing play. It was completely musical melody, full of instrumental music. The play started with an elegy, showing people migrating out of their home country. This funk music was then turned into rock, the motivating genre, to show how these migrants muttered up their courage to survive and live happily. Country music then slightly turned to the mood, made the audience relax as the migrants found their purpose of living happily after. Finally, we became happy, healthy, and healthier after our stay here. We were happy because we were healthy. We were healthy because we cherished our downfalls with enchanting music. Finally, we came. So let us build our motto to be stronger, healthier together, united by our emotions. Let us not differentiate each other when we share a common language of music. We can change, but we can imagine together. So, guys, are you ready for the change? Because I am. Goodbye, Senorita. Take care. Thank you.
Now I request her evaluator, Anil sir, to evaluate her speech.
Well done, Madam Mukta Gera ji. That was a wonderful presentation. And you started with good confidence. I saw the body language was very good. You used the props excellently well. I liked your language. My recommendation to you is to have contact with the lens. I think you were seeing to one side, your left side of the screen. I think you might have had some pad or something. You were trying to read that. That was very visible. I mean, if you could just overcome that, I think otherwise it was an excellent speech. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That was a phenomenal evaluation and a wonderful speech by Mukta ma'am and Anil sir. Mukta ma'am, I got into a kind of a feel when you started with an amazing opening about the music. I loved it to the core. I loved the way you used the property because this is something which is very unique, using a piano in speeches and then presenting it. I loved it. And you had a very beautiful storyline, a moral, and a great ending. Everything was phenomenal. If at all, I have to give you one recommendation, which is very subtle, just because you are already an energetic speaker, very minute recommendation, which will drastically change your speech is, if you notice your pattern of speaking, just record your speeches and notice your pattern of speaking. There is a pattern, a rhythm of tone. Usually, I remember Praveen sir telling it, or I've also seen it in some of the speeches, which is when we start to speak, we tend to go into a singing mode, a same pattern or a rhythm. It is natural for everybody, but when we become aware of it, we can very well improve the way we speak. So next time when you are speaking, observe carefully what is your pattern. So in a speech, the tonality or the pitch or the frequency should be, you have to be low when you are supposed to be. You have to go high when you are supposed to be, just to get the attention of the audience. With this one recommendation, I loved your speech and keep going. Wonderful. And
Thank
coming
you.
on to thank you, ma'am. Coming on to Anil sir. Anil sir, spot on evaluation, spot on. You have covered everything that you could give as a recommendation and commendation to your speaker. Obviously, yes, lens, looking into the lens, contacting, eye contact is very, very important. If I could give you a suggestion when it comes to evaluation, you can make it little more, the commendation can be little more, what can I say? You can make it a flowery word or little more descriptive, just to make your speaker feel more comfortable. Because if we make our speaker feel more comfortable or happy, obviously they are going to do more and more in the future. Just with this, I would like to close my commendation and recommendation on our speaker and evaluator. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, I would like to call upon our next speaker, the dashing lady of the house, Shraddha ma'am. So to evaluate her, we have our handsome young man, Kishore Babu sir. So Kishore Babu sir is ready with the pen and paper. Shraddha ma'am, your title is Heads or Tails? Heads or Tails? Shraddha ma'am, the stage is yours.
Am I audible?
Loud and clear.
Once more, once more. Come on, join me all. Once more, once more. Clap your hands and smack your chest. Just like Tony Robbins. How does that feel? I just can't tell you. I love it. I just love it. I remember I was in class 3. I was obsessed about, and the first prize goes to Shraddha. The cheers and applauses that followed. Oh my goodness. You can't believe it. It felt euphoric. It still does. Good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and fellow speech crafters. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine a brown cow standing in front of you. Take hold of a coin in between your fingers and focus on the head, the space in between the 2 horns, and gently place the coin at the center. Could you do it? Could you do it? My cousin took the plunge and he did it. He did it! Eureka! A cow could predict the first position in class. My turn. the target well in focus. With coin in my hand, I go close to the cow, and the cow moves its head left and right, right and left. Did I place the coin? Did I place the coin? I did it! But no, the cow started walking, and the coin fell over the cow dung. I could see the cheers and applauses crumbling down over the freshly discharged cow dung eats. Hard luck. That night, I could not sleep. I felt like a failure. But I decided to try again. After all, ever since my childhood had been ingrained, try and try again until you succeed. But the only problem, I didn't have a coin. I sobbed and slept. Day 2. It was Saturday. Some beggars came home begging. Bhagwan ke naam par de de baba. Bhagwan ke naam par de de baba. My granny gave me few coins. Not one, but 5. I felt like a queen. My obsession for the first position in class robbed me out of my conscience. I cheated my granny. I stole the coins meant for the beggars and set out to find a cow, a brown cow, all alone. And did I find one? Yes! God was kind. A brown cow was sitting just in the middle of the field, ruminating. I went closer. Bingo! Mission accomplished! Just then, a dog appeared and started barking. Bow, bow. The cow, it unwinded its limb and stood up with a jerk. And I could see the trajectory of the coin up in the air and down on the tail. Tail? Oh my goodness! Was that the sign of failure? I could not believe it. I started wailing in the top of my voice. Just then, I could see my uncle and cousin rushing towards me. They presumed I was abducted and kidnapped by the beggars. I told them my part of the story, my ill luck. My uncle roared in laughter. Ha, 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 ha. How can a cow predict the first position? It's your effort that works. He was right. Despite that the coin fell over the cow dung, in spite that it landed on the tail, I could still grab the first position in class. The cheers and applauses all followed. Toastmasters and fellow speech crafters. Heads or tails. Hard work is the only key which never fails. So remember for life, cows don't give milk. You have to milk it. Over to you.
That was a speechless speech. By the way, we all went speechless. And to evaluate our Shraddha ma'am, let me call upon our teacher, sir.
Yes. Absolutely amazing, ma'am. Sensational, really. So you have chosen a wonderful topic. When I hear that topic, heads and trails, I went to childhood. I have used it so many times, heads and trails and all. So many times you used every single tool of public speaking, ma'am. So really wonderful. So you started with a bang. So wonderfully well. You seamlessly incorporated your stories and all. So I could sense your that tone, vocal variety and all, everything, body language, whatever, whatnot, everything you used. Excellent, madam. Wonderful. So one recommendation, that's not a recommendation actually. So it's very small. That is not a big thing. Suppose if you could place that camera a little above, just a little above, that would be wonderful. That will take your speech to the next level. That is not a big thing. So wonderful, ma'am. Wonderful.
Thank you so much. So let's put our hands together for our Shraddha ma'am and our Kishore sir. Coming to our speaker, who is always pretty, always dashing, and whenever she comes to the stage, she makes sure that she rocks it. So going on with her speech, wow, what a phenomenal speech it is. As rightly pointed out by your evaluator, Shraddha ma'am, you have compiled all the elements of public speaking in it. You have started with a very high note, which has the power to grab the attention of your audience. Like even if your audience are looking here and there, no, you made it sure that you are taking their attention. That was phenomenal. And the usage of properties, I have to appreciate the medal, the coin, and the choice of your title, which is heads and tails. And you went on with, you connected that heads and tails throughout your story, your narration. Brilliant. I was actually hunting for a loophole to give you recommendation, but you were spot on with your speeches. Just this is not a recommendation. This is from my experience that I can say. Whenever we speak, it is always good to have elements of all the elements of public speaking. But one thing that we have to be very, very careful, again, it's very subtle. Just because you are an amazing speaker, I would like to recommend this. It is always good to have the diction simple. The word choice that we use, little simple. Because there are opportunities, say for example, this I'm completely taking it on the perspective of a contest. This is how the Toastmasters will judge. So when it comes to a contest, the judges, they will be having a loads of things to do. They'll be having the ballot, they'll be having checking everything. This is for everybody who are going for the contest. It is always good to keep our diction simple so that our judges are not getting lost somewhere. Even if they get diverted and come back, they are not getting lost. This is a kind of I can't say recommendation, just a kind of awareness that I'm giving. Apart from that, this is a brilliant speech. I can say I have to learn loads from you, Shraddha ma'am. Once again, congratulations. And coming to our evaluator, Kishore sir. Kishore sir has pointed out everything brilliantly. And yeah, like me, he is also searching for a place where to give the recommendations. And he is very particular in observation, so he could find out the placement of the camera. Kudos, Kishore sir. Kishore sir, one recommendation if I could give you, you are already par excellent. Just keep practicing so that you will get refined and molded in terms of evaluation. So with this, let me go on with our next speaker. So next speaker, I guess I can call our first speaker to give the speech, which is Kishore sir, who is our evaluator. So Kishore sir, are you ready?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So to evaluate Kishore sir, we have Vikas sir. Do we have Vikas sir? Do we have Vikas sir? No. Okay. So, okay, Kishore sir, you can proceed. I'll be your evaluator then.
Okay.
Your topic is change is permanent. Change is permanent. Kishore Babu, the stage is all yours.
Yes. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Okay. Bye. I strongly believe that change is difficult, transformation is incredible. How many of you believe that? Please raise your hands. Great. Thank you. So when we focus on our results, we will never change. When we focus on our change, definitely we'll get results. So happy evening to all of you. So here I would like to share two of my experiences. So I hope you have as well. So first one is change is permanent, right? One thing, ever since we born, ever since we have come to this planet, every second we undergo change. Only change is permanent. Change is constant. Nothing else is permanent. So understanding the concept very well, I just wanted to implement in my life. I want to keep changing. I always educate my students to keep changing. So speaking about the change, so COVID-19 pandemic, so allowed us to experience the drastic change that the world is undergoing. So everybody knows whether we like it or not. So change happens. It does not wait for your opinion. So it is so natural. I remember in March 2020, when the schools and colleges were shut down. So really, I did not know what to do. So I just thought I have to change. I should do something remarkable. So then next day onwards, I started implementing and changing myself and working on some latest technologies. So earlier, I never ever taught online classes. So world is changing rapidly. Everything is shifted to online. I also shifted to online and habituated and equipped with new technologies like that. So if we do not change, definitely we will fail to exist in this digital era. If we do not change, so my outdated skill set will become irrelevant. I cannot encourage, motivate my students in any way. So change is happening every second. We have to change accordingly. According to Robin Sharma, change is hard in the beginning, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end. 100% too. I experienced that thing. Right. So next one is take actions immediately. Take action immediately. So I remember in the way back 2012, one of my friend and me visited one book fair, book festival. So we purchased some books and wandering in the book fair, right? Just when we are about to leave the book fair, organizers are announced that there is a lucky draw. So all of you, please write your name and phone number on a check and drop in the box. So then first prize is 5,000 rupees books worth. Second prize is 4,000 rupees books worth. And third prize is 3,000 rupees books worth, right? I asked my friend, shall we drop our check in the box? So he said that, no, that is fake. Our names will not come. So, okay, let it be. I decided I want to drop my check in the box. So let it be. Let's see. So we are not spending any money. So nothing wrong. Okay, right. So time has come. Organizers are announced the result. The host picking up the first sheet. First sheet, not my name. Next, the host picking up the second sheet. That is also not my name. So final and the last sheet, the host picking. Do you know what happened? That is also not my name. Okay, cello, sometimes it happens, right? So heartbroken, I was okay, right? So just about to leave the book fair, the organizers are announced that the third person was not there in the premises. So we are going to take one more last sheet. So after that, there is not sheet picking. So if the third person is there, well and good. Otherwise, we will go with the first two prizes. Okay, I'm eagerly waiting for that, right? So what happens? So that the host picking up the last digit, right? Do you know what happened? They announced my name, Kishore Babu, right? So wow, great. So that time I realized that they can't pick my friend's sheet because he was not part of the game. So take the action so that we will be victorious in the game that we play, right? Opportunities comes only once. So take action and grab the opportunity. So right away. So with these two experiences, I changed my perception. Suppose if you are in my place, what would you do? Over to Toastmaster.
Wonderful, wonderful, sir. That was a brilliant speech. And to evaluate your speech, I would like to call upon your evaluator, because, okay, he's not there. Sorry for the thing. So to evaluate your speech, first of all, I have to congratulate you for implementing whatever you have learned in this speech craft. I could see a drastic shift in your speech. To quote a few, number one, you started with a statement or a quote which says, change is incredible, which is general agreed by everyone, because this is important. First thing we have to make connection with the audience is to start something general. So change is incredible. Obviously, everybody will agree. And then you went on with a question. How many of you agree with me? There you made the connection right away. So anybody who could connect with the first sentence, change is incredible, obviously will put their hands up. This is where you have excelled, by making the connection at the first few seconds, which is really very important when it comes to public speaking. Number two, you have used your hand gestures, whatever you have learned. Say, for example, you use the numbering system of hand gestures. You said the amount with the numbers, the amount cost of the book with the numbers. You have used your hand gestures. That was brilliant. You have used your tonality, which I somehow feel that, yeah, you were little, your frequency were little up and down, the pitch was little good when it comes to expressing. Wonderful. With all these things, if I have to give you some recommendations, because any good speech has its icing on the cake so that we can make it really delicious. Number one, which is very important, the placement of the camera. Obviously, you have mentioned to your speaker. Again, I am mentioning it to you. The placement of the camera has to be parallel to our shoulder. Why am I telling this? Because if the placement of the camera is parallel to our shoulder, your headset will not disturb you. I somehow feel that your headset is disturbing you, the wire, when it comes to hand gestures, and because of that, you couldn't move your hands as you wanted. Number one. Number two is your during the transition, you mentioned next one is. When you said that sentence, being an audience, that took the attention away from the script. Just give me a minute. Sorry for the sound. So yeah, I was keenly listening to you when you said next one is. That took the attention to the word next one is. You could have made the transition little, you could have blended the transition with the words such as moving on to. And you can say that I would like to take your attention to. So something like that. And then, which is really very strong, the third suggestion that I would like to give, just because you are already, your public speaking level is amazing. You have implemented whatever you have learned. One thing that I would suggest is to work on your English language, grammar, because this is very, very crucial when it comes to speaking. This will enhance your speech. So with these three suggestions, once again, I would like to congratulate you for all your efforts. Thank you so much, sir. Next, we have our next speaker, Vikas Chaurashia. Do we have Vikas Chaurashia? Yes. So he is there. And to evaluate him, let me call upon our beautiful Muktama. So Vikas sir, your title is Just Do It. Just do it. Vikas Chaurashia, the stage is yours.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are loud and clear. Yeah.
How many of you have a habit of planning your day in advance? Can I have a show of hands? Even I have the same. But many a times our plan goes for a toss when something new comes up in between. Isn't it? It happens with all of us. And something like this happened with me on last Tuesday. Since morning, I was focused on completing a report that had a submission deadline of 4 p.m. the same day. And suddenly, I received a call from my boss. And the voice on the other side said, "Hey Vivek, can we connect over Zoom at 2:30 p.m.? We need to finalize a plan and send the details to the bankers by 6 p.m. in the evening." That was my boss Ajit on the other side. And I had no choice but to respond in just 3 words. Yes, we can. this kind of situation. And after completing the call, I was like, what? A business review meeting at such a short notice? This kind of situation can be really tricky, I tell you. 2 tasks to accomplish at the same time, and you don't even have the liberty to set your priorities because both seem important and cannot be postponed. So what did I do in such a situation? I did the same thing that other seniors do. Pass on your burden on the junior members. So I called my colleague, Divya. Hey, Divya, can you take up the report work that needs to be submitted by 4 p.m. today? I have an urgent meeting to attend. And she accepted. Poor girl, she had no choice, but my job was done. But such last-minute delegation of work may not be possible always. So it is very important to set our priorities and complete the urgent and important tasks well in time, or such unexpected interruptions can just lead to procrastination and delays in your work. And that's where we can follow the Eisenhower's principle of urgency and importance. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the former president of the United States, once said, I have 2 kinds of problems, the urgent ones and the important ones. The important ones are never urgent, and the urgent ones are never important. What he really meant was, you should focus on tasks that are really important and not only on the ones that are urgent. This can not only help you prioritize your work, but even minimize the risk of missing your deadlines. So if we have a look at the Eisenhower matrix, it has 4 quadrants. The tasks that are important and urgent, take them on priority and just do it. The tasks that are important but not urgent, you can plan it for later and schedule it for later and plan it well. The tasks that are not important but still urgent, you can delegate it to others. And the tasks that are not important and not urgent, you can just eliminate it if possible. Maintaining a to-do list along with the indicators of urgency and importance can not only help you plan your task well, but even make well use of your time. It is said that time is precious than money. It is said that time is precious than money. Money once lost can be regained sooner or later, but time once lost is lost forever. So the time keeps on moving forward and stops for no one. And that is why we need to make the best use of our time and do the right thing at the right time. For the people who value time and plan their task well, have a great chance of being successful, while those who miss the time and the opportunity will struggle to succeed. So are you making a good use of your time and doing the right thing at the right time? That's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for that wonderful speech. Now let me call your evaluator, Mukta Gira ma'am, to give your evaluation.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are loud. Yeah, you are
Okay.
loud and clear.
Okay, Vivek sir. Your speech has a very exciting title and you spoke with great fluency. Your hand movements and eyes gestures were beautiful. Time management in today's changing world is very, very important, whatever the sphere will. I totally agree with it. The beauty of words and the props was well shown. A little recommendation. It was an amazing speech, but little voice modulation and was more required. So the audience are more enjoyed your speech. So please, your personal story was very nice with mobile, but try to bring more personal stories to enhance. So your value speech is upgraded. So this is a very nice speech with groovy vibes and beats, and I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mukta ma'am, for that beautiful evaluation. I'm so sorry I couldn't turn on my camera because I'm using my mobile data right now. So coming on to this speaker, our Vivek sir. You have brilliantly started your speech with the connector, which is the question: how many of you planning your time in advance? And your topic, as well as the way you have started, everybody felt that, at least I felt that, okay, this is something which is very important for me and I have to listen to it. Kudos for that. Kudos for making that correction, that connection. Moving on, you have various properties and you were using your hand gestures. Brilliant. I could see loads and loads of improvement in your speech and the way of your speaking. The content wise and the script wise, it is brilliant. If I could give you one suggestion, I would like to give you two suggestions just to make your speech an amazing one, or to take it next level. Number one, I'm so sorry. I'll try turning on my camera. Okay. So here it is. When you are showing a property, which is a paper, we have to be very, very careful that whether the paper or the property that we are showing is visible to the audience. So being an audience, what I observed is you were trying to show it, but somehow I could feel that if you have brought it a little closer to the lens, something like this, little closer to the lens, maybe it could have been visible, but still there is a risk of a virtual meeting because the prints and the letters will not be visible. The reflection, it will not be that visible. So that one thing that I wanted to make you aware of. This is a kind of an awareness. And number two, if you could reduce the fillers, and other fillers in your speeches, obviously your speech will be of next level. So congratulations for that brilliant speech and the informative one, which is very, very useful to me as well. Next, coming on to our evaluator, Mukta Gira ma'am. She is always amazing and she is so sweet when it comes to speaking. The way she started, Vivek sir. So this is a new way, I guess, making connection. So, but one thing I could say is a very formal evaluation will be of, you could start either with a quote or with quoting the speaker, quoting the speaker so that we can connect with the speaker. So that is one way of starting an evaluation. And I felt that you could have given a little more commendation so that you could make your speaker a little special. So with that, I would like to move on to the next speaker of the day. Our next speaker of the day is Jyoti ma'am. So Jyoti ma'am, are you ready? And to evaluate her, we have our Shraddha ma'am. So Jyoti ma'am, your title is Whatever Happens, Happens for Good. Whatever happens, happens for good. Jyoti ma'am, the stage is yours.
Whatever happens, happens for good. How many of you relate to this saying? I certainly do. In my childhood, I have heard this saying so many times from my grandparents, from my parents, from my teachers, that whatever happens, happens for good. So don't take it to heart if you lose somewhere or if you do a mistake. Just keep going. And that is what I have passed on to my children too. So, but I was curious, from where did this saying has come? And while searching for it, I came across a story. The story was of Akbar and Birbal. So once, when Akbar was practicing his sword fighting, so he injured his finger and it was bleeding profusely. Birbal was there already and he said, whatever happens, happens for good. This infuriated the king and he ordered Birbal to be put in the prison. He ordered his soldiers, go and put Birbal in the prison. And Birbal said, whatever happens, happens for good. After some days, Akbar planned for a hunting. And as he spotted a deer and he was chasing a deer, he got lost. He went far away and he got lost. and he got lost from his entourage who was following him. And while he was finding his way back, he was surrounded by the tribals of the forest, and they held him captive. The king kept on saying, I am the king of the land, I am the king of the land. But none of them paid heed. They took him to their leader, and the leader ordered that he has to be sacrificed to a god. So Akbar couldn't do anything there, and he was prepared for the sacrifice. When he was being taken to the sacrifice, one of the members spotted that there was an injury in his finger, and he immediately reported to the tribal head. And the tribal head ordered Akbar to be released. And Akbar, suddenly shocked and uh, thanked his stars for being free, and remembered the word that Birbal said, whatever happens, happens for good. After reaching kingdom, he ordered Birbal to be released, and Birbal came to the court and said, whatever happens, happens for the good. Had it not been you, if I had been there with you, I would have been sacrificed. So this particular saying was so much embedded in my life. So in 2014, my life was disturbed by a storm, which totally turned my life upside down. My relationships went bad, my family, my life, everything shattered, which I so closely and so nurtured and guarded so closely. And suddenly it was all chaos. I couldn't understand why this was happening to me. Where did I go wrong? And I was asking all these questions to me. And then, as if sudden a ray of hope, a ray of sunshine came into my life, and I got the news that my grandson was born. And I took immediately, I realized that life is grateful or life is gracious. It gives you another chance. And I took charge of myself, and suddenly and started building my strength and my vision from the beginning. I took charge of myself. Just like a caterpillar moves from the butterfly stage, goes through different transformation stages to become to emerge as a butterfly. Similarly, I went through different stages of transformation and emerged as a successful, as a confident, as a leader in my own terms. Had it not been that that incident took place in my life, I would not have emerged as a successful and a confident person. So very rightly said, whatever happens, happens for good. In life, whatever comes in your way, take it with pinch of salt and move forward. Difficulties make you strong and make you more courageous. So, dear Toastmasters and speech crafters, if you agree with this saying, and what is your perspective on this particular saying? I, Jyoti, signing out. Stay safe and stay healthy. Bye-bye.
Thank you for that brilliant speech, Jyoti ma'am. Now let me call upon your evaluator, Shraddha ma'am, to evaluate your speech.
Excellent speech, Jyoti, and you look gorgeous today. Whatever happens, happens for good. And I second it to the last word. Your speech unfolded like rainbows in layers in this rainy season. I could see all the colors, the purple, the indigo. Let's see how I could see that. The violet opened up the methodology when you talked about learn from your mistakes, never stop, never settle. The indigo, you chose the storytelling, nice usage of vocab, you infuriated. The blue, the mannerism, the body language, eye contact, you carried a smile all throughout. Whatever happens, happens for the best. Nice tonal walk you used. An example being, I am the king of the land. Nice usage, intonation. The next was the matter, the yellow, which vibrated. Life connection with a historical event. This was brilliant. I loved this connection which you made. And the conclusion which flashed out, hope, ray of sunshine. Again, prompting, difficulties happen in life and you should be strong and move ahead. This actually gave an insight, a brilliant take, how to take life brilliantly. Now for the recommendation. Little characterization would have done wonders. The different characters, if you could have given voice to them, it could have actually curated your speech in a better way. Also, at the end, you dipped off a bit with ums and ahs. That could have been eliminated. All in all, a brilliant, well-structured speech for me. And I have not many things to take away for public speaking experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. So let's put our hands together for both our speaker and evaluator. What a brilliant speech and an amazing evaluation for it. Jyoti ma'am, you were a natural speaker. Your body language is very, very natural. That is one thing that I loved about your speech. And again, pointing out that if I could give a recommendation saying that if you could have made your speech by standing, and then if you could have placed your camera a little away, you were trying to make a lot of hand gestures. You have a strong body language. That could have been more engaging as an audience. So this is one slight recommendation from my end. And having said that, that was a brilliant speech. And coming on to the evaluator, Shraddha ma'am. Shraddha ma'am, you are spot on. I have no recommendations and I loved your evaluation because you had all the strategies of evaluation. You have brilliantly summed up your commendation and recommendation at the end. I have no recommendation, just the one slight thing. We all tend to struggle at the end. So just take care of that. That's the only thing that I have. And moving on to our next speaker, we have Nidhi ma'am. And to evaluate her, we have Vivek sir. So Nidhi ma'am, your title is Breaking the Barrier. Breaking the Barrier. Nidhi ma'am, the stage is yours.
Hi, Surya. Surya Dev, where are you? I can't find you. Can anybody spot him, please, along with me? I request you to please spot him.
Ma'am, I'm here. Ma'am, I'm here.
Oh. Hi, Surya. You have become so famous nowadays because you are all over the social media, isn't it so? Every weekend you launch one new mastermind post and everybody becomes so happy. But some people, mind you, becomes little jealous with you. Because for past few days, I'm seeing you are becoming so tired. Your face looks very tired. I think that evil eye has made that. Because of that evil eye, you are becoming very tired. Wait a minute. I will do a pariharam. Pariharam means a solution. Wait a minute. Just a minute. Where is that salt and chili? Yeah. Om Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya, Namah Shivaya. Now everything will be fine, Surya. Don't worry. This is what my mother used to do for past 13,259 days out of those 14,699 days of my life. Oof. I'm a lady. I should not share my age. But I'm sure none of you are good mathematicians over here who can calculate my age. Isn't it so? Dear Toastmasters and Speechcraft members, let me tell you a story, a fact about my maternal uncle. He always rushes to work, seeing his watch, and tells that, let me go out of this house before Rahu Kalam. Those who don't know what is Rahu Kalam, it is the most inauspicious time of the day. You should not do anything new or you should not get out of the house at that. And let me tell you the fact about my husband. Recently, I just told him to pick up a pair of scissors from the drawer. And as a beautiful husband, he just took it and gave it to me. And then something stuck on his mind. He just dropped it. I said, why are you doing? No, if I hand it over to you, we will have a big fight. I said, please, just don't accept all these useless beliefs. Just give it to me, and just I grabbed it. But what happened actually? We fought for next 2 hours. Then I thought, whether these superstitious beliefs actually happen. I am a MSc postgraduate. For such a long time, I was just thinking that my scientific temper will never accept this. I don't accept such things. Let me tell you again a fact that I never expressed the best milestone of my life, and that was the first time when I got my menstruation to my mom. I remained silent because I was terrorized with the fact that the first day when I get this menstruation, that day, is it auspicious or inauspicious? Because that will tell how is going to be my future. And the day when the lizard fell on my head, 4 to 5 nights I couldn't sleep because it foretells the death. Do you think I'm superstitious? I have started embracing all the black cats moving around me. I have started embracing all the days on Tuesdays are supposed to be inauspicious. And on that day, I start my travel. I removed all my gold rings, which had the precious stones told by my astrologer. So, superstitious beliefs, I don't believe it anymore. And if you ask me if I have to teach my daughter about this, no, never. I'm going to break this barrier and let her teach or let me teach all the good values rather than those ignorant beliefs which we should not encourage. Perhaps this is not the belief which you are believing. Perhaps you may not be supporting it, but this is my perspective. Let us, as Jyoti ma'am said, whatever will happen, but it will happen for the good. So let's take the things as it comes. Let us not believe unnecessary things, not be superstitious. What about you all? Love and respect, Nidhi Nandagopa.
Brilliant, brilliant, ma'am. So let me call upon your evaluator, Vivek, sir, to evaluate your speech.
A full speech, Nidhi ma'am. It is said that we should be breaking down barriers and not building walls. And superstition plays an important role in building those kind of walls. First of all, I loved your opening. It was very superb. The moment you started searching for Surya, even I was looking into the audience where Dr. Surya is. And the body gestures, they were really beautiful. Your smile, you had a pleasant smile continuously. You made good use of the virtual platform. And I was really engrossed into the speech. I was wondering whether I should note down the points or pay more attention to you on the speech. Coming to the points that you need to work on, I didn't find much improvement factors, but there is always a scope for improvement. That is what I believe. And probably with more practice, you can be a wonderful speaker. That is what I believe. So that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nidhi ma'am and Vivek sir, for that amazing speech and evaluation. Nidhi ma'am, should I really give you no recommendation? I have loads and loads of commendations for you because, but right now I don't have time to list out everything. Overall, your speech is fantastic and you are already an amazing speaker. You have all the elements, the way you started, the way you took your story, and most importantly, you have taken a concept which is very specific to one particular region. Still, you made it general to all the audience. You have very subtle way of explanation things. That was brilliant. I appreciate that. And recommendations, I seriously don't have anything, but still, when you had a brilliant start and amazing storyline, but the ending was slightly not that strong as the beginning. This is that's how I feel and I observe. I guess you could have also observed it with just that slight thing. If you could work on, your speech will be amazing. Moving on to the Vivek sir. Vivek sir, you are an amazing observer. You have told everything for your speaker that has to be mentioned as a recommendation and commendation. Somehow I feel that just as a one recommendation, if you could structure your evaluation a little more, that would be amazing. So moving on, we have our next speaker, Suresh sir, and to evaluate Suresh sir, we have Jyoti ma'am. So shall we have Suresh sir? Yes. And your title is 3 Simple Marketing Strategy that really works to increase your business. 3 simple marketing strategies that really works to increase your business. Suresh Babu, the stage is yours.
How many of you think that good marketing strategies are essential to run a business successfully? Please raise your hands if you agree with me. Thank you. Amazing Toastmasters and my fellow speech crafters, let me walk you through 3 simple strategies that really works to increase your business. First strategy, create an environment that make the customers buy your product. Let me share my experience with supermarkets. Every week, I go to a nearby supermarket, but I have a problem there. Every month, they keep changing the position of the product. This month, if I get one product from a particular place, next month when I go, it will be in some other place. I have to really search for it. This made me thinking, why they are doing it? I got the answer from the book, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel. Every supermarket has a path to flow. When you enter, you are greeted with soothing, beautiful music. Do you know why they play music in the supermarkets? Because they want you to focus only on purchase and forget about all your worries or any concerns. They want you to forget and just focus on the purchase only. Research shows that if you spend 20 minutes in a shop, whatever you purchase after that will be impulsive buying. Whether you need it or not, you will end up buying it by seeing the offers. So the supermarket want you to spend more time. That's why they keep changing the position of the product. So that you'll search for it. So when you search for it, you see some offers. So whether it's needed or not, you will take that. So the strategy is create an offer that make your customers to buy your product. Second strategy, create an offer that is easy for the brain to calculate. This product, this worth 400, and one shop, they are selling it for 360. Same product, the next nearby shop, they sell for 356, which is a better offer than this shop. Which shop will sell more numbers? The research shows that the shop which is giving 360 sales is more because it's easy for the brain to calculate 400, 360. They are saving 40 rupees. Here, 400, 356, bit difficult for brain to calculate. So people ignore it. So create your offer in such a way that it is easy for the brain to calculate. Third strategy, make your customer feel that he's getting more. Let me share one interesting story that happened in US. In the primary school, in the canteen, there is a ice cream outlet. There are 2 counters. So the company found that in one counter, always the sale is high compared to other counter. So they want to find out why it's happening. So what they did is they interchanged the sales girls. After that, the second counter started selling more. So they realized that it's not because of counter, it's because of the sales girl. So again, they want to find out why this girl is able to sell more. Because both girls are equally good. They are equally entertaining the kids. But one girl is able to sell more. So they wanted to find out, they did a research and found the reason. The reason was the way in which they were serving the ice cream. That made the difference. So there is a weighing scale. The kids are standing in the queue. The cup is kept on the weighing scale. So the first girl who is selling less number of ice creams, she will take a full spoon of ice cream, put it in the cup. So that will be more than 50 grams. So what she will do, she will remove some ice cream and make it 50 grams and give it to the kids. The second girl, what she was doing is, she will keep the cup, but she will not take full spoon. She will take half spoon, fill it, then take quarter spoon, fill it. Then she keep on adding till it becomes 50 grams. So both girls are giving 50 grams, but the kids, when they see, one girl is giving, they keep on adding ice cream to their cup, whereas another girl is taking ice cream from their cup. So they always prefer to buy ice cream from this girl who is giving, keep on adding. So create an impression that your customer is getting more. Marketing is all about being simple and thinking out of the box. As Steve Jobs said, becoming simple is more tougher than complex. You have to really work hard to clear your thinking and make it simple. But it's worth it. In the end, when you reach there, you can move mountains. I fully agree with Steve Jobs. What about you? Over to Toastmaster.
That was a wonderful speech and a very informative one. Let me straight away call your evaluator, Jyoti ma'am, to evaluate your speech. Jyoti ma'am, are you there? Do we have her?
I'm not
Okay,
able to
we
see
lost
Jyoti
her.
ma'am.
Okay, sir. Let me proceed then. I really liked the way you started. How many of you? So that really made the connection. And moving on to another powerful strategy is the strategy of 3. At the beginning, you have made the audience very clear. What are you going to say? The strategy of 3, you said that I'm going to give you 3 strategies. That's it. So all the audience will expect from you is 3 different strategies. That's where you made your point very clear right from the beginning, which helped your audience to connect. And then you have a very beautiful structure of making it into 3 different strategies with 3 different stories. And then all 3 stories have huge values. You made it very, very amazing. And just to add on the recommendation, I would suggest you to work on your pronunciation, which could help you in a long way when it comes to giving speeches. And with that, I would like to give the stage to Jyoti ma'am if she has any evaluation for you. We have her back.
Yes, sorry, I just lost the internet. So yeah, Suresh sir. So it was the moment I heard your topic, 3 simple marketing strategies to run a business successfully. I was immediately hooked because yeah, that was a great way to capture audience, and it was brilliantly the way you took the strategies and very brilliantly explained, taking in steps 1, 2, and 3, connecting them with references and your research, which was commendable. You started with a question connecting with the audience, immediately connected with the audience, and gave examples of for each strategy. That was really commendable. That made the concept very, very clear. It was not very vague in our in mind. So another thing was good eye contact, body gestures, perfectly, like your voice modulation and the way you explain. Little dip in the middle where after in the third strategy, but but it was well taken. So a little commendation which I felt was little control of breath with mic, because that was taking a lot of, that was distracting, that was a lot of distraction, so that could have made it more effective. So if that proper control of breath and a voice before the mic, so that would have been much better. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jyoti ma'am, for that wonderful evaluation. Almost you have covered everything and you are a brilliant evaluator. Just one recommendation: the pillars, if you could manage, your evaluation will be the best one. So having said that, let me move on to the next speaker. We have Vikas Guleria, sir. So he will be evaluated by Nidhi Nandagopal ma'am. Do we have Vikas, sir? Do we have Vikas, sir? No? Okay. So let me move on to our final speaker, who is Anil Kumar, sir, who will be evaluated by our previous speaker, Suresh Babu, sir. So Anil Kumar, sir, I hope you are there. I couldn't see you. Yeah, you are there. Okay. And the title is My Tirist with Weight Loss. My Tirist with Weight Loss. Anil Kumar, sir, the stage is yours.
Hello.
You are audible, sir.
Thank you. I eat a lot when I'm happy. I eat a lot when I lose, when I'm down. I eat a lot when it's raining out because I'm disheartened. Good evening, Toastmasters, my fellow speechcrafters. Do you agree with me if I say diet and weight loss are interconnected? How many of you agree with me? Thank you. I remember way back, a decade back, on 1st of January 2010. As usual, all my friends and relatives take a New Year resolution. I also decided to take a New Year resolution on 1st of January 2010. I informed all my family members that today I'm going to take my New Year resolution as I'm going to lose weight because my BMI has touched 25 points. That is too alarming. And so I'm going to take a drastic weight loss program. And then I decided to join a gym and do some physical activity so that I reduce my weight. And immediately I went and bought all the apparels required for going to the gym, going to the walk and jog, and I started my physical activity. A lot of jumping, skipping, and running and jogging to increase my metabolism, and slowly and steadily, with my instructor's help, some weights were also added to the routines to lose my weight. And friends, there I was getting more energetic because of loss of weight, and I used to feel it in my activity. And thus, as the weeks went by, the months went by, from January to March and April, I checked my weight. Yes, I lost a few kgs. Then, in the month of April, my daughter told, Dada, what is this? Every weight loss program has got a cheat day. Why don't you have some cheat days in your program? And she also added, these cheat days are very essential to give you the much needed fats and the minerals which you are not taking on a regular basis. I immediately thought about it and accepted that. And from that day onward, my cheat days, I kept keeping 1 day a week as cheat days initially. Then my wife's birthday came, then functions, festivals, weddings, all were the cheat days. My cheat days started increasing and my diet days started reducing. And my program of physical activity was on. Every day morning when I go to the gym, my trainer used to ask me, how are you doing, sir? I'm doing well, excellent, that's great. And he used to also enjoy it. But at the end of the month, when I check my weight on the weighing machine, what all exercise I'm doing, no use. The diet, because whenever I'm happy, I eat a lot. And whenever I'm down, when I'm sad and depressed, I again eat a lot. Then when I'm rained out or doomed, not that I am only winning. Whenever the India IPL match wins, India wins also, I am happy. Or my favorite movie is good, I am happy, I eat. Like that. All functions, festivals, parties, like that, my cheat days went on increasing. Then added to that, the festivals start from the July, August and all. Dasara, Diwali, Christmas, we celebrate all the festivals. Thus, New Year comes, I again take a new resolution. This year, I'm going to be much more stricter. This is my Paris with weight loss. I would like to know your experience on how you lose weight. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that wonderful speech, sir. And now let me call Suresh Babu, sir, to evaluate your speech.
It was a wonderful speech, Anil sir. I really liked the usage of props. You used multiple kind of props, the skipping, the dumbbells, all those things. It was really connecting. Then you also used the stage space, effectively used. You were moving left, right, and you were effectively using. That is one thing I really liked. Then coming to your clarity, good clarity is there. Then vocal clarity, good. And eye contact can be little improved, but fairly good. Then audience awareness. Yes, you have a good audience awareness. Let me say, when you giving the speech, I was also taken to my days when I was trying to reduce my weight. I was also like this only. I'll reduce some 2 kg, then 4 kg will be increased, because that was the cycle. But last year, let me tell you, last year I took up a program and I really reduced 10 kilogram of my weight. That was a combination of yoga plus food control. And coming to other this thing, my recommendations. Only one recommendation I felt is because you had many characters, like a trainer was there, and other characters. So you could have changed the voice little. That modulation, if you had changed, no, you that speech you would have taken the speech to some other level. That is only one suggestion I have. Otherwise, it's a wonderful speech. Congratulations, and keep doing the good work. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that speech and the evaluation. Anil Kumar, sir, you are amazing when it comes to usage of stage, props, everything. And that's your strength. If I have to give you one recommendation, just take care of your audio when you are connecting with 2 devices. We have to be very, very careful, because one device we can connect with the audio. The other device, the best thing is don't connect the audio at all, because that's how I do. I connect from 2 devices, and my laptop, I won't connect the audio at all. So that's the best thing to avoid the echo. And coming on to our evaluator. Evaluator, you have covered everything, Suresh Babu sir. That is wonderful. And you have also added your personal story. That is amazing. Rather than telling good, 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 we can use some of the descriptive words just to make your speaker feel better. This is from my end. And with this, we are coming to the end of our speeches and the evaluations, and we are moving on to the next session, which is very, very important and the most awaited session. And to invite the special speaker of our educational session, let me call our handsome young man in the house, Dr. Sudhir Masundar, because he is amazing when it comes to giving the warm welcome to our guests and the educational speakers. So let me hand over the stage to Dr. Sudhir Masundar.
Thank you so much. Let's give it up for Toastmaster Yogeshwari, everyone. And we had 8 speeches. This was next level. And right now, the next couple of minutes, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be life-changing for all of us. Our education speaker for the day, we've already seen the posters and we know about him. But again, as always, I connect with all the educational speakers with my own personal stories with them. So talk about this legendary soul. He has just been like an angel for me in the Toastmasters. I just saw one link one day in the Worldwide Toastmasters group, and I decided, okay, you know what, let's just join this particular meeting. What a meeting it was. To get introduced to so many different souls all across the planet. This man opened the doorway for me, gave me the exposure to not only get connected with all these Toastmasters across India, but also across the globe. He is one such soul. I will always irritate whenever I am in any kind of a problem, any kind of a doubt, whether I need a speech slot, whether I need any advice, whether I need any kind of help. He's the one I'll always ring him up for. What's even more amazing, he's given me this freedom. He's really helped me turn from a caterpillar all the way to a butterfly. He himself has escalated to huge heights in the Toastmasters International itself. The whole world knows him. That's the beauty. Now, we all know that he's serving as the Area B3 Director of District 92, but what's even more special about him is the way he connects with all the fellow Toastmasters. I'm so privileged. This was not supposed to be done. I was supposed to do the honors, but nevertheless, let's give it up for Toastmaster Sourav Dutta, who is the educational speaker of the day. Toastmaster Sourav, the podium is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Suryadeep, Dr. Suryadeep. So, okay, so let me start with asking a question. What is research? What is the difference between search and research? What is the difference between search and research? Simple English. Everyone has gone to school.
Yes, search is something that is already present. Research is that we have to really find it. It may not be present. We'll have to have a study there.
Search is already something that is present. Okay. And what is research?
Research is that you may have to do some study and it has to be calculated. It is not easily available.
So research is not something that we have to look for. Okay, any other definition of research and search? A difference between research and search.
Research is something which is existing, and we are doing a second search or the third search on it, like which is a kind of a research, something which the topic is already being explained, but still we are pondering over it to come up more with it. So that is what is research. Search, I have no idea.
Anyone else?
Yes, sir. Search can be a general search, whereas a research is a more specific subject or a particular thing which you might be trying to go in depth into. That particular subject is called research. That's what I feel.
Fantastic. I think that's the closest to the definition I have, and I'm not a research scholar, so please don't take my words as the final truth, as the gospel truth. I may be horribly wrong. And the benefit of having an online session is that you can't beat me up, right? I'm sitting somewhere else in the world, so some other city, so I'm safe that way. Anyways, but this is what I consider to be very close to how I see the difference between search and research. Search is a generic find. I'm searching for something. Some of us search for love, some of us search for money, some of us search for job, some of us search for, we don't know what, the meaning of life, who am I, right? And then we end up in the Himalayas. We don't know what we are searching for our soul. Research, on the other hand, is where we have a very specific objective for searching something. We have got something in our mind because of which we are searching. We are on this journey with a very specific purpose. So that's why when we meet a research scholar and we ask that person that what are you researching on, he always has an answer to it, right? He does not say that I'm not sure. I'm a research scholar, I'm doing my PhD, but please don't ask me what am I researching on. I'm still thinking about it. Did you come across such an individual? It is very hard to find a research scholar who would say, I don't know what I'm researching on. Because if you are researching something, you need to know what you are researching on. So there has to be an objective, there has to be a pattern, there has to be a path on which you are making a journey of finding something. Apart from that, there is another difference between search and research. And that is, in search, it could be something which you are inventing. It could be something where you're inventing the wheel. In research, it is more about finding something which is already existing. A search could yield nothing simply because it does not exist. But in research, we have some amount of an understanding that there is some material out there which we need to look upon and which we can find. Research, for example, and if that material is not there, then probably there is something that has to be created, but in that case, it will not be called a research. Why do we need to do a research when we are making a speech? Why do we need to do a research when we are making a speech? Why can't we do a speech without a research? What is it that we would be missing out on?
Because there are two types of people, right-minded and left-minded. So the right-minded people are more attracted towards the emotional bit, but the left-minded people are more attracted towards research, scientific data, facts, all of those things. So,
No, but why do we need to do a research before we make a speech? A lot of the times we make impromptu
Can I
speeches,
say?
right? Yeah, please.
To get more specific result on which we are doing the research.
Right, but what is the need? My question is very specific to a speech. When we are making a speech, why do we need to do a research before making a speech? What is the purpose?
Can I say?
Yes, please.
To make our speech more clear, transparent, delivering a message.
To have a message.
More organized.
That's one of the answers. We can put our answers on the chat also if you want. Yes, Mr. Suresh, Toastmaster Suresh.
Yeah. It's basically because in the speech we have to give authentic data. Whatever the data we are giving, it should be authentic. So really you have to do research on the topic. So then only you get the authentic data. That makes your speech more valuable.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Very nice. Okay.
May I?
Yeah, please.
Because in a speech, we are giving some information to the audience, which is useful for them. And to gather that information, we have to do the research.
Right. We are giving some information to the audience. We have to have authenticity in the speech. So there is a gentleman by the name Albert Mehrabian. Albert Mehrabian had said that there are three aspects of a speech. One is vocal, verbal, and visual. And he has said that it is divided between 7%, 35%, 55%. And this is something that people have sort of misinterpreted and thought that the content of your speech or the delivery of your speech or or whatever you're saying, that is not so important. If you're coming here and doing some song and dance, right? In particular in Toastmasters, there is a very strong myth, I would say, that if you come here and do some kind of a drama, if you talk to yourself, if you talk to the sky, if you talk to no one, right? If you do all kind of theatrics, if you take up a prop, right? And you'll make a wonderful speech. Sadly, part of that is true. Sadly, part of that is true. What happens essentially is that when we look at some of the contests also, we will see that people who have won those contests, if you look at any of the world championship of public speaking, you will see that they have a lot of, a lot of various kind of elements in their speech. They would use a prop, or they would use some kind of a drama, so they would use some kind of a role play. They would crack a joke, they would ask a question. All of that is perfectly right. But did we ever come across a speech which we consider as a good speech, which has zero content or which has absurd content? If I come here and start doing all kind of song and dance and I don't have any content, like for example, if the next 5 minutes I tell you a lot of jokes around research, would you say that I did a very good session? What are you expecting from me? Why did you come here? Did you come here to hear jokes on research? You did not. What was told to you? You were told that you will be getting an educational session. So what is the expectation you had in mind? The expectation you had is that after this 35 minutes, 40 minutes, 1 hour session, whatever it is, when I walk out of it, I would be walking out with some information and knowledge about this topic called research. If instead I give you a lot of song and dance, a lot of jokes and a lot of one-liner comedies, you would feel cheated, won't you? It will be like a bait and switch, right? I'm calling you saying that I'm going to give you knowledge on research, and I'm walking out with a lot of dramatics and all that. So what we need to understand is that any speech has to have 3 elements to it: the ethos, the logos, and the pathos. This is according to Aristotle. Aristotle had said that any speech has to have 3 elements to it, and we call it the rhetorics of a speech: ethos, logos, and pathos. Actually, it is 4. There is another one which is called kairos. Ethos, logos, pathos, and kairos. What is ethos? Ethos is, it is about the authenticity of the person. Like for example, if I come here and so you have seen my background, right? I've been a data scientist, I've been a marketeer, I've been in retail, I've been a public speaker. So if I come here and I'm saying that I'm going to give you an education session on researching a topic, you are convinced that this person has the credibility to give that research, give that lecture, or take that session. But if I come here and I say I'm going to give you a session on, say, traveling to space. Now, I have not been with Richard Branson on his trip to space. I have no idea how space looks like. My knowledge about space is as naive as you have. So am I an expert to talk about space travel? No, I am not. So the ethos element on my speech is highly questionable. The second thing that comes in is the logos, which is the logic, which is the content, which is where your speech, does it have a structure? Does it have some material to it? Because if the logos element is low, no matter how much of credibility I have as a speaker, you get nothing out of it. And the third and most important one, the pathos, which is the passion in which you present a speech. And to illustrate that pathos, we do a lot of theatrics. We do a lot of drama. We start with a bang, we end with a bang, we make an impactful conclusion, blah, blah, blah. But please understand, a good speech has to have all these 3 elements of ethos, logos, and pathos. And the fourth one, just for the sake of continuity of the discussion, I would mention that also, kairos, which is the timing of it. So when you have to say something, you have to know when you have to say something. For example, particularly when you're doing, for example, a humorous speech, the timing is very important. I may crack a joke, but how am I cracking the joke? When am I cracking the joke? Am I taking a pause before that? After that, am I letting you sink in that joke? All of these things are part of kairos. Research makes your logos element extremely strong. The logos element of your speech, the rhetorical aspect of logos, becomes extremely strong when you have research going into a speech. Otherwise, your speech would be only banking on ethos, listen to me for who I am, and pathos, listen to me for what I do. Ignore the part of what I say. That is not an acceptable solution. That is not something acceptable to any audience. Are we clear why we need research in a topic, on a speech? Anyone who's not convinced that research is necessary? Now, let me ask you a question. If that is the case, let me be a devil's advocate. How do you justify an impromptu speech, a table topic? Where do you get a time to do a research?
There, no research is required. It is only our past experience or whatever experiences which we
Right.
have.
But then how do we take care of the logos there? Are we saying that
Actually,
logos is not required in a impromptu speech? We can just talk nonsense, absurd stuff.
no, but personal experiences will count as logos, right?
Very nice. In a table topic or an impromptu speak, have you seen the better impromptu speakers are generally the ones who are already better readers? You know, one of the people I have seen, one of the contestants in one of the club contests, she was on the verge of getting disqualified. In fact, she was first time disqualified, and then the chief judge has asked they discussed the problem with that person, and then that person explained the position, and then she was qualified. You know why was she disqualified? Because they thought it was too good to be true. They thought that she was in the breakout room and someone would have given her the table topic and those kind of things. What was the topic? The topic was, do not throw the baby out of the tub along with the water. Do not throw the baby out of the tub along with the water. Now this lady, when she came up to speak, she gave a full description of how this proverb originated. She said that this originated in the mid-80s of America, and it was because we were bathing the baby and when we would clear the bathtub, blah, blah, blah. And they said that how can you make such a brilliant speech? It was as if you researched on the speech. How did you do that? Because you were not supposed to know the topic. And then she told them, because I read. And because I read, therefore I'm able to add that logos element to the speech. So if you're well read, that can be a proxy to the research, because you're continuously searching. What is knowledge? What is reading? A search. A search for knowledge. Why do you read? Why do you pick up a book and read? A search for knowledge. And that's why it's different from research. You are not reading with a specific objective. When you get your Google feed in the morning and you are going through it, you're scrolling all the news articles. Are you reading with a specific objective in mind? No, you're not. You're naturally going through it and you're just seeing, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. What is this? A search for knowledge. So when you keep on continuously feeding yourself with information, with knowledge, with insights, there's a continuous search that's going on, then that can take a proxy for research. But that's only for a 1 to 2 minute speech. If you want to make a longer presentation, you have to do a research on that. Otherwise, it's not possible. So that is the most important thing for us to understand, that research and search, which of which, where to use and how to use, that's something that will come depending on the length of the speech, the purpose of the speech, and those kind of things. Now, when you are making a speech, the first important aspect that you have to keep in mind is, all that you research, you are not supposed to say that. Whatever I research is not what I present. What I research and what I present is always going to be a subset of what I research. So if I'm researching this much, I will present this much or this much or this much or this much, depending on how much time I have. And one of the biggest mistakes we do as a speaker is we have to say everything we know. No. We need to say what we need to say to make that impact on the audience. And how are we going to do that? I'm going to give you one acronym and you may want to make a note of this. And anyways, I'll put this acronym on the chat box after the speech is over. The research has to be proper. So the acronym is proper, P-R-O-P-E-R. So the first element of this, proper, P, problem. Any research has to start with problem. What problem are you trying to solve? If you are not clear about the problem you are trying to solve, you will always end up with a solution that no one wants. Don't we have umpteen examples of wonderful innovations that went wrong simply because they were not solving any problem? 5 years back, 10 years back, I think 10 years back, Google Glass, when it was first introduced, there were no takers for it because they did not know what problem are they trying to solve. In fact, there are many interviews by Larry Page where he talks about how Google Glass was really not going places. And one of the most important reasons is because it was ahead of time. iPhone was not the first phone without buttons. Even much before that, Motorola had a lot of phones without buttons. but they did not define the problem statement. They first came up with the product. After they came up with the product, then they were trying to look for customers. Who will buy this? Who will buy this? Who will buy this? So every research has to start with a problem statement. What problem are you trying to solve? Second one, reconfirm. See, what happens is, when we come up with a problem, part of that is based on data, part of that is based on heuristics. What is heuristics? Heuristics is where, in simple terms, what we call it as a gut feeling. I feel that way. मुझे लगता है. I have an impression. I have a doubt. This is my understanding. Various ways of saying the same thing. Ultimately, it's heuristics. So, you have to understand that no problem statement or no business problem or life problem, whatever it is, it can be purely objective. There will be an element of subjectivity, but how much of a subjectivity is there? That's something that you need to understand. So the next topic is reconfirm. Okay, you have got a problem statement. Is it really a problem? Is it something that's really bugging people? If it is not a problem, then you really don't need to spend time on researching on that particular topic. The third, once you are reconfirming that, you know what is the problem and you know what is, and you're reconfirming that it is a problem for at least a sizable amount of your audience, then you have to define the objective of your speech and the objective of your research. So that's the O of the proper. Next comes the path of your research. How are you going to progress with your research? What are the sources? What will you refer to? Where will you go for information? Where will you go for references? Who will you talk to? Are you going to scour the web? Are you going to speak to people? Today, whenever we say research, we limit ourselves to Google. There is so much of research that we can do outside of the internet. Your family members, your friends, books, journals. Suddenly the whole world thinks that every research is out there in Google. That's not so true. Then the next one, examples. Examples are a big element of research. Examples of things that have worked, examples of things that have not worked. See, many of the research art, when we are doing a research, one big pitfall that we fall in is we take opinions as facts. There's a difference between opinion and fact. For example, this is a blue shirt. That's a fact. Blue is a cool color. That's an opinion. We have got 23 people on the call today. That's a fact. 23 people is a good number to have in a Toastmasters meeting. That is an opinion. So when you are able to find examples, you will be able to find facts. Remember, the blog that you are referring to and so happily quoting as your source of research is an opinion. It is not a fact. It is one individual human being like you and me who had access to a computer, who wrote it. And it is still an opinion. Even if it was published by Forbes, it is an opinion. If it was published by Harvard Business Review, it is an opinion. Does not matter who published it. If it was published by Stanford, it is still an opinion. What you need is examples. Examples are facts. Examples are things which cannot be disputed. You take Dr. Suryadeep to one room and ask him that question, what he will say is similar to what you ask me in another room or to what you ask Mr. Kishore in another room. All of us will get the same answer. Which day of the week is this? Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. If we ask all of you in 20 different rooms, you will all still say it is Monday. Will anyone say no, probably it is Sunday? No, it will not. So it's a fact. That's an example. And the last and the most important element, recommendation. Any research topic has to have a recommendation attached to it at the end, because if you are not making a recommendation, particularly when you are making a speech, then that particular aspect, that speech or that research is absolutely pointless. It is serving no purpose. Every speech has to have a call to action at the end. So this is how You have to structure your research for the purpose of a speech. I will take a small pause and take any questions at this point of time. And I would also want to check on the timing, Dr. Suryadeep. Who is the timer and how is he going to indicate the time?
Yes, I think you still have another 10 to 15 minutes. So
Okay. So who's going to indicate the time? The green, yellow, red?
Yeah, I will only do that. So I'll indicate you one in 5 minutes, and at 7 minutes and 10 minutes.
Perfect. Okay, so I'll take any questions at this point of time. So I introduced an acronym to you, which is called PROPER. So any questions on that?
May I ask?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to know how to put or add examples in researching related speech. Means we are becoming so confused about the examples and the opinions, right? So how can we be very clear about the examples? Could you please
So
suggest?
you will need to ask yourself one very simple question. Is this question going to give the same answer if I ask it 10 times? If I don't ask it, if it is likely to give a different answer on 10 different times, then it is not a fact, it's an opinion. Like I said, like which day of the week it is a fact. It is not an opinion, it's an example. Now if your question is about the authenticity of the, now see, there is another problem that comes in here. I think that's what you are referring to, which is, I say for example that 10,000 people are suffering from corona today. How do you know that number 10,000 is right? How do you know that it's not 20,000? How do you know it is not 1,000? Right? That's a different problem altogether. That is where we will need to cross confirm, reconfirm. And part of the reconfirmation, as I said, when you're defining the problem statement, is about looking at those sources and validating those sources. And there are umpteen ways of doing that. So first of all, remember one thing. If it's a news, it will have several views. Right? So there will not be only one source. So for example, if someone is saying that the world is falling flat, the world is falling apart, then it cannot be that only one article will say that the world is falling apart. There has to be 10 different articles. If one article is saying that the world is falling apart, then in most probability that is either a false news, a false fact, or an opinion. So look for that information in 3-4 different sources. Whichever information or an example, what you consider as an example, you find, you lay your hands on, validate that, check that in 3-4 different sources. If it is there in other places also, it's coming up in other places as well. So that's one very important way of doing it. The second is, you will have various websites which actually confirm whether a news is right or wrong. If you do a quick Google search of how to identify fake stories, how to identify fake news, they will throw up a lot of searches. I'm running out of memory right now for the specific examples, but there are many websites who actually help you identify fake news and fake examples and those kind of things. So you could take an but my personal favorite is always to check if there are more than one sources which is talking about that example. Because if there's only one source, it is probably an opinion or a falsification.
How can we
Thank you.
put the examples, personal examples, can they considered as facts? Personal examples can they be considered as facts?
Personal examples can be considered as evidences, not as facts. Because remember, those are anecdotes, right? And statistics has got certain limitations. Like for example, the sample size. Like you say that most Toastmasters are good speakers. What is your sample size? If you have been to one club meeting where there are like 50 different speakers and they were good, that does not mean most Toastmasters out of the 360,000 Toastmasters are good speakers. So you have to understand that if you're putting a personal example, that's not a fact. That is an anecdote. That is an evidence, right? And an evidence can always be questioned. That's why we have the courts of law. Again, an evidence is not a fact. An evidence can always be questioned. That's why we have courts of law. That's why we have lawyers. If evidence was refutable, then someone would just send the evidence by post to the police and the police will catch the person, send him to the prison. No courts are required, right? Evidences can be challenged.
So because people put personal examples also in the speeches and all.
Absolutely.
Then how much value does it carry? And how much?
It adds a lot of value. So what I typically do is when I am giving personal example, I also back it with some kind of a fact. Right? So I'll give you one example. So I was making a presentation on pink slips. Okay, like pink slips, the kind of emotions that people go through when they get fired, right? And there I gave my personal example because as a leader, I have had, I have been working in the corporate for a very long time and I have hired and fired people. And I was sharing some of my personal examples of what people went through when they were given the pink slip. And I said that this person did this person did this. But after that, I gave certain statistics. The research shows that 50% people who got fired have actually ended up smoking, taking drugs, or drinking. Right? If I would have just said that I have, 5 of the 10 people that I have fired have started smoking, that is an anecdote, that is an evidence, can be questioned. Maybe you always hired people who are into drugs and smoking. You should look at your hiring process. It's not a problem with the pink slip.
Thank you.
Welcome.
So even the books which we read, those are also opinions, right?
Which one? Sorry?
The books which we read, any book for that matter.
Absolutely.
So that is also an opinion of the writer, right? So we cannot take it at face value. We should always.
You cannot. I mean, I have seen people quoting, books like "Straight from the Guts" by Jack Welch, and saying that this book says boundaryless behavior is the fantastic behavior. Jack Welch is no god. There is a very beautiful saying which we data scientists believe in. In God we trust. Rest everyone must bring data. Right? So Jack Welch is no god. He may be the guru of management. He may have made GE an iconic company, but still, with due respect, he's no god. I'm sorry to say, even Dr. Abdul Kalam is also not God. People quote from Wings of Fire and say, Dr. Abdul Kalam said this. I respect him, but still he is not God. Ratan Tata is not God. Right? They're again human beings, and they're like very respectable, iconic human beings. I have zero negative minus 10,000% credibility to even talk anything about them, but still I would humbly say they are not God. And they can also go wrong. They can write books which are bestsellers. We can queue up and buy them, but those are still opinion.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Can I say?
Yes, please.
Sourav sir, it was a very wonderful educational session. I really learned a lot on how to do topic on our speech topics. Thank you very much for that. One clarification I have is, can we use Wikipedia as a source of authentic data?
Very, very, very good question. We all know, right? What is Wikipedia?
It would be good if you could explain.
It is not a moderated source. Okay, there are two types of sources. Okay, this is one good example. This is one good benchmark that you can use. Moderated sources and unmoderated sources. Moderated sources are sources which are moderated by experts, people who have spent time learning that particular phase, be it bitcoins, be it cryptocurrency, be it rocket science, be it artificial intelligence, be it Toastmasters, be it public speaking. They have spent some time in learning that space and they moderate that space. So you just can't put any content there without moderation. Wikipedia is not a moderated source. People can put content based on their Wikipedia, can flag off certain content as doubtful, but it is not a moderated source. So which is not a moderated source, we have to be very careful. But Wikipedia does have information. And again, the best thing is when you find an information on Wikipedia, please validate with another source. Just don't blindly take it. Like, for example, I may publish a wiki article tomorrow, Sourav Dutta. And there may I write, I'm one of the most iconic speakers of India, blah, 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 blah. And then I may quote that.
Understand.
right?
I think
You have to
same,
validate somewhere else.
yeah, I think same holds true for newspaper news also.
Absolutely, yeah. So there is a question on the chat box. What are the ingredients that make a great speech? How much of research is needed? I think for making any good speech, you need to have content. Now, it depends on the kind of speech you're having. Your speech could be informational, your speech could be motivational, your speech could be entertaining. It depends on the kind of speech. So if you're making an entertaining speech, you really don't, probably you don't need to do a lot of research because it could be about your own life story, right? I may want to make a humorous speech about all the relationships and the breakups that I've had. Now that I don't need to do any kind of research because those are painful memories which haunt me every night, right? So I don't really need to work on that too much. But if I want to do an informational speech like the one I'm trying to do today, I have to do my own research. I just can't come here and blabber. If I want to do a motivational speech or an inspirational speech, I may want to draw more on inspiration and examples rather than hard research, hard facts. So it will depend on the content of the speech, the type of the speech. What is the proportion of examples, facts, opinions to make good speech, rough ratio of research and personal? As I said, it will depend on the type of the speech. Certain speeches, it could be entirely on personal information, personal examples, personal experiences. Certain speeches has to be heavily skewed towards research. Now, one very important thing, as I said at the beginning, is that how much of a research you do and how much of a content you give. This is very important. See, for example, we have this L1 P3 speech, right? Research and presentation in Toastmaster pathways. So one very important thing for us to remember in that is that what is a good topic for presentation in that? Like, for example, you will not be able to talk about the India's independence of 200 years struggle in that 5 to 7 minutes. You will not be able to do justice. So, but if you want to talk about Jallianwala Bagh, then you can cover that. So you need to understand how much of time do I have to present the fact. Because I may research the entire Indian independence movement, but can I present it in 5 to 7 minutes? I can't. So then I can take one aspect of it. I can talk about the Jallianwala Bagh and just talk about that in the 5 to 7 minutes. Any other question, please?
Yes, sir, I have a question. So like you said that Wikipedia is not authentic source, like we must confirm elsewhere also. So which other source is available to check for the information to be authentic?
Okay, I'll reiterate. I did not say that Wikipedia is not an authentic source. I said Wikipedia is not a moderated source. Moderated means that certain content there could be questionable, certain content could be authentic, but no one is moderating that, right? So first of all, yeah. So when you are picking up an information from Wikipedia, you have to look for similar information in other sources. So I have a very crude way of doing that. I copy that entire information and Google it, right? And I get related searches coming from that. Like for example, I'm going to Google, for example, Toastmasters is the best place to learn public speaking. I'll take this entire statement and Google it. I will not get exactly the same results, but I would get related searches coming up. And then some of those, if I'm not familiar with the domain, if I'm familiar with the domain, then I know where to look. For example, when I was working in the computers, when I was working with HP, if I would do any kind of research, I would find information on Wikipedia. I would go to PC Quest or one of those articles to validate the information. When I would be getting some financial information from some kind of a financial figures and those kind of things, then I would go to Seeking Alpha and validate that information. But if it's a totally unknown domain where you have no idea where to validate the information, then the best option is to take the entire piece of information, Google it, you will get some related searches coming up and some sources coming up to cross-verify that.
Toastmaster Saurabh, I have one question.
Yes.
Suppose I'm writing on climbing the Everest. So I have to take the experiences, the personal experiences of the climbers. So how to validate those things? Because all the articles will be based on their experiences only.
Can you repeat that question once more? Sorry.
So I am doing the research on climbing the Everest. So I have to take the personal experiences of the climbers, right? How to validate those because they are the facts, because they have faced those things. So whether they are considered as fact or experiences.
So see, you have to understand what, like as I said, what is a problem statement? When you are doing a research on climbing Mount Everest, right? What is the problem statement that you're trying to research on? You're trying to research on the experience of climbing,
or you're doing a research on the altitude, the height, the weather?
It is regarding difficulty.
Difficulty.
Yeah,
Difficulty is what? Is it a subjective thing or an absolute thing?
it's a subjective.
Subjective thing. The moment you're getting into subjective, then you're not into facts. Right? Then you're looking for experiences.
Right.
Right? If you are looking for, on the other hand, if you are looking for which month I should be planning a trip, what is the weather looking like, then you're looking at what? Information. Those are objective things. If you're looking at altitude, again an objective thing. See, when your problem statement itself is looking for some kind of a subjective element, then you will have to go with examples. You don't have a choice.
Right.
Right?
Got the point.
I think we are over time. Dr. Suryadeep has already showing us 2-3 times. He has shown me the red card. So thank you so much. It was a fantastic session being here, and I loved being here. If any other questions are there, I will I'll put my number on the chat box. Please feel free to ping me. And thank you. I love taking this session with you. Thank you so much.
Amazing. Let's give it up for Toastmasters Sourav Dutta, everyone. I mean, what a pleasure and honor. I mean, every single time I listen to this man speaking, whether it's a speech, whether it's an education session, or I mean, it's just like a little baby. I'll just listen to him like this. I'm sure we all had a thrilling experience, especially this topic, which I'm sure we are all really inquisitive to learn about. So right now, I would like to welcome our magical Yogeshwari to kindly felicitate our speaker. So Yogeshwari, over to you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Suryadeep. Thank you once again, Sourav sir, for that phenomenal educational session, because this is where I've got a clear idea about what is research, what is search. And also, I love the way you took about the ethos, pathos, and logos, because this is something that I've learned, and I felt like, okay, right now you have reiterated that, and I'm not going to forget it. And research is one such a topic that I always had a lot of doubts, a lot of confusions. And this session had clarified everything for me. Once again, I would like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here and giving us your knowledge, sharing us your knowledge. And with that, I would like to hand over the certificate of appreciation on behalf of Speak Magic Toastmasters Club. Here is it, sir. Please accept it. It's a token of love from us.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I hand over the session back to Suryadeep.
Okay, amazing. That was great. So we had, now this is amazing. We've already finished 3 weeks of our journey. I mean, wait, 4 weeks of our journey. Yes, 4 weeks of learning. We began with our introduction. Remember, you all introducing each other. That's how we began. And then you took up table topics. You got exposed to the Toastmasters, the curriculum of Toastmasters. You presented your first icebreaker. Then you got into the table topics. You started taking up evaluations. You attended these glorifying, life-changing education sessions. I mean, I don't remember the last time we had such a scintillating series of education sessions. And it all culminates to this particular day, dear speech crafters. Now, I'm sure all of you must have, just give me a thumbs up and be active for the next couple of minutes. All of you have presented at least one speech. Yeah, perfect. All of you have taken up at least one table topic. Perfect. All of you have presented at least one evaluation. Great. And all of you have attended all the education sessions. All right. Now, this is where our journey really gets interesting, because now the upcoming day, that is Wednesday, the 28th, is a day of celebration. All the hard work that we've all put in finally culminates on Wednesday. What do we have in store for you? We again have a set of Toastmasters, distinguished Toastmasters all across the planet, visiting us to congratulate you, to hail your journey, to really salute the kind of response that you all have taken, the kind of zeal, the inspiration you all have been for all of us. At the same time, you all are going to be speech crafters, right? Certified speech crafters. That's how the journey has been. So before we wrap up, I would like to open up the question answer session. In case any of you have any kind of questions, please feel free to ask. Do we have any questions regarding anything, like your whatever, the journey, any kind of doubts, anything you want to clarify? Please feel free to ask.
Hi, Suryadeep, I have a question.
Yes.
So if I want to know what is the next step? Like, you want to continue after the speech crafter?
Yeah. So the next step is obviously to join as a Toastmaster. So for those, again, I'll be putting up the message today. Those who wants to continue, they want to really take this journey to the next level. We've already had Vikas sir and Rajeshwari ma'am enrolled in our club as a Toastmaster. So we are going to be dancing with them in the upcoming week. So the next step is obviously to be a Toastmaster. Yeah, I think that answers your question.
Suryadeep,
Yes,
can I ask you, in whole process of this Toastmaster, we learned something about vocal variety.
Yes.
I want that you should conduct one specific speech only on vocal variety, prepared by all because vocal variety is practiced by some. We are only doing hand actions and body language. But the true vocal variety is when you really go deep into it. So, like humorous speech is something unique. Vocal variety speech should be also conducted in your curriculum. This is my suggestion.
Sure.
With proper explanation and how to do it.
Exactly. And I think that's a good announcement. Thank you so much for bringing that up, Mukta ma'am. In our club, Speak Magic Toastmasters Club, we have recently started this series of mentoring sessions in which every week we meet for 1 hour and we take up one simple aspect of public speaking and we dive deep, we go deep. We really inculcate and absorb all of that. So it is already there in the pipeline, ma'am. We have sessions planned up for vocal variety, for intonation, tonality, body language, hand gestures. All those things are already in the pipeline, and you're definitely going to know about the sessions as well. Yes, I think Suresh sir had a question.
Thank you, Surya.
Yes.
I just want to know how this Wednesday session is going to be. Is it an interactive session, or is there any involvement from our side required?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I think you all don't have any more tasks to go through. We are not going to tell you, write a speech, get ready with your mentors and all that. All that is done. Okay. Wednesday will all be about a celebration. So you all will be encouraged to share your experience. And at the same time, we will be having our, I think we'll be having our area director. We'll be having our Speechcraft advisors coming in. We will be having a very special keynote speaker coming in to share her experience. And I don't want to disclose any names yet, but she is the only soul on the planet right now who has finished all the 11 pathways. All the 11 pathways in the Toastmasters, and now she has again restarted her pathways learning experience. Okay, that's the legend we are bringing in. So a lot of surprises, but no assignments. Okay, so I think that answers your question. Yes, Yogi, you also have a question. Yes.
No, it's not a question. Just to add on to your thing, whatever Mukta ma'am asked. So this is a special announcement. I think all of us, most of us are aware of it, that our amazing coordinator, Dr. Suryadeep Masumdar, is going, he is conducting his accredited speakers program. So in that speakers program, Mukta ma'am, you asked for a vocal variety. I hope that he'll be taking it up as one of his topic. So if you have any other suggestions, you can drop us the suggestions or the topics that you would like to hear from him, so that it'll be easy for him to take up that topic and conduct the workshop. So just because this is our closed community, closed family, we expect a helping hand from your side to take up this accredited speakers program, because this is a kind of a proud moment for us, because if he completes it, he will be the first Asian to become the accredited speaker. First Asian. So this will be a proud moment for all of us. And I strongly believe that he deserves it. He deserves every bit of it. The way he conducts the program, the way he takes up every topic, the way he is doing it with all involvement and energy. So we need your support. We need your presence. And it's a paid workshop. Yes, because accredited speaker demands that. So the rule is it has to be paid, and we are keeping it very nominal because we wanted to serve you. We wanted to give it to you. So we are keeping it very nominal, and we expect the helping hand from all of our speech crafters, because you know the work he does. And any kind of topic that you wanted, let it be vocal variety, he is amazing at it, because I've been traveling with him for almost 10 months, 10 long months, great learning. And I've seen a lot of shift in my own self. So that'll be a very good experience for all of you. Let it be vocal variety, let it be body language, let it be any topic on the planet. When it comes to Toastmasters, he'll be the right person. So you can drop us your suggestions, your requirements. He'll be taking it up. And yeah, that's it from my end. Thank you.
This girl is going to make me so emotional. Okay. No, I'm not going to cry. I'll make sure I don't cry. Thank you so much for that, Yogi.
Shall I add?
Yes, sir, please.
Yeah, I was so fortunate to attend Dr. Surya's first program, the accredited speakers program's first program. That is how to find the signature story. So it was so valuable and so informative, so power-packed session we had. I really thank Surya for delivering that content. And I really like that 4C method. It's very apt. In a simple way, we can find our signature story and we can use it, because once you have the signature story, wherever you go, any occasion you can present yourself and you can be an authority. Really, I thank you so much for that. And I look forward to more and more such classes. Definitely I'll be there to attend that. Thank
you so much, sir. That really means a lot. What we will do is I'll be dropping in the link of a Telegram group in which all the updates to all the workshops and everything is given. So you all can definitely join that. So it's going to be really fun. Regarding our speechcraft, do we have any more questions? I think a couple of you all had no more questions. Perfect. So the upcoming day, the Wednesday, you all will be getting your prestigious certificates. Okay, so after all the month-long hard work, we are celebrating you. We will have people coming in from all over the world to really distribute those certificates to you. Will address you, will address your hard work, will address your efforts, and it's going to be just a huge blast. So no more worrying about speeches, no more worrying about evaluations. The upcoming Wednesday belongs to all of you, and we will make sure that it turns out to be a huge celebration. At the same time, I think the most we can have is a little table topics. So we'll make sure that we have some fun in the table topics at the same time. No evaluation or nothing, just having fun. So Wednesday is all going to be about fun. Let's make sure that we are tuning in a little early and we are really gearing up for our celebration. In case, okay, here, this is very important. Please make sure that you have the evaluation report of all the speeches that you have presented. So that once you join as a Toastmaster, for example, Vikas sir, Rajeshwari ma'am has already joined as a Toastmaster. What will happen for them is they will not have to present 3 speeches. They'll get a 3 speeches walkover completely. So for them, they just need to present 1 speech to finish their level 1 and 2 speeches to finish their level 2. That's how simple it becomes for speech crafters. So I would highly encourage you all, for those who still haven't yet decided. Now we are doing this, okay? The moment you decide to join, you will be your enrollment begins from 1st of August by default. So whether you pay today or whether you pay whenever it is that you want, your enrollment starts from 1st August itself. What happens is we'll instantly assign you your mentor, and you can start working on your evaluation contest and humorous speech contest, because you've already moved ahead in the pathways learning experience. So mentors will also be guiding you through on which pathway you need to choose. So I think the next two or 3 days, Wednesday is the next session for those who have Vikas, Rajeshwari ma'am, and for all the others who are still planning to join. You already have your mentors assigned. You may want to connect with your mentor and decide on which pathway you would want to take. Okay. You can also ask me. I would love to help you all out. But please do make sure that you're getting that decision to join the Toastmasters. It's just going to be another breathtaking experience for sure. Like Speechcraft is just like the mini trailer. Okay. It's like a concised, compressed form of Toastmasters. The real experience happens deep inside. Okay. So we're going to know more about that on Wednesday, and we all can be a little excited for the upcoming Wednesday. It's celebration. Okay. So with that, I think I would encourage all our guides to just stay back for a few minutes, and for all the speech crafters, we will see you on Wednesday sharp at 5:45. So good night, everyone.
I have something, just 1 minute,
Yes.
1 minute of your time. This is an announcement. Any of you who are planning to join Toastmasters and planning to take up the contest, which is evaluation and humorous speech, I would highly recommend you to take up action right now, because the contest is on the 3rd week of August. So you need a time, a gap where you have to get settled with your mentor, your pathway, and then work on your speech, with, let it be humorous or evaluation. I know that all of our speech crafters are already far excellent. So still, just to have the glance of what the requirement of the contest is, because contest all goes with the ballot sheets. We have to stick on to the ballot sheet to win the contest. So just to have that glimpses, I would highly recommend you to, if you have plans to join, do it earlier. That would be of great help. So with that, see you. Bye-bye.
Okay, Yogeshwari, you can just officially adjourn the meeting, and then we can.
Okay, so I adjourn the 7th session of our speech craft. Good night, all.